Tonight, a murder investigation after a body was found in Lowwood.
A stolen ute involved in a fatal New Year's Eve crash.
Toowoomba home values surge to a new high.
And plenty of colour as punters celebrate King of the Mountain.
This is 7 News with Joanne, Desmond and Adam Straney.
Good evening, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for your company.
A crime scene has been declared following the discovery of a man's body outside a home in Lowwood this morning. As Lawrence Jeffcoat reports, police aren't giving much away at this stage.
The crime scene here in Lowwood is still active, with detectives combing the property for evidence. Police were called to the home early this morning after members of the public found a body on the front lawn. Homicide squad detectives and forensic crews are expected to remain on the scene for the rest of the day. Neighbours who didn't want to appear on camera say the occupants of the house were quiet and have been left shaken by the discovery. Investigators want to speak to anyone who was in the area around 5 o'clock this morning.
A male person has been located on Walnut Crescent at Lowwood. Crime scene's been declared, and police are appealing for anyone with information about this to come forward and to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
But they've provided little detail, keeping their cards close to their chest.
The early stages of the investigation, at this stage the scene's being held, and we're appealing for any information at all from anyone from the public. I can't sort of comment too much on those sorts of details at this time.
No arrests have been made at this time and investigations are continuing.
Thanks, Lawrence. Police have confirmed a woman who died in a crash at Canning Vale on New Year's Eve was driving a stolen car. The ute was taken from a home in Warwick almost a day before it left the road and smashed into a tree.
The white Mitsubishi was split in half and missing wheels. It was a harrowing scene for emergency services as the New Year countdown began.
It would have been good to see the New Year out with a nice clean record in the area, but unfortunately this has happened tonight.
The ute was travelling west on Warwick-Killarney Road around 10 p.m. on Sunday. A 20-year-old woman from Boney Mountain was in the driver's seat.
A single vehicle, it's unknown why, but it's left the roadway.
And slammed into two trees at Canning Vale.
Unfortunately, the vehicle's been torn apart and it appears the sole occupant of the vehicle has been ejected and has died from her injuries. It's going to be very sad for, obviously, a lot of friends and family of the person involved.
After a day of investigating, police determined the car was stolen from a home on Cullen Street in Warwick around 2 a.m. that same day. They're now urging anyone who has dash cam vision of the car with Rego 578XGZ or who saw it being driven dangerously to come forward.
And that job will continue with Forensic Crash Unit and Scenes of Crime, etc., continuing their investigations from here on in.
Hataya Grupski, 7 News.
Dashcam has captured the shocking moment a ute rolled on the Diagula Highway. The silver Mitsubishi overtook another car, towing a caravan in rainy conditions yesterday morning before swerving onto the other side of the road. It tried to swing back but lost control and left the road, flipping multiple times. The driver was taken to Ipswich Hospital in a stable condition.
Interest rate hikes and affordability pressures didn't slow down home values last year, with new data revealing quite the opposite. Toowoomba saw a median increase of 9.5%, but experts warn the surge could be short-lived.
Everything seemed to be pointing to an unstable housing market last year.
Very high interest rates, cost of living crisis, housing affordability constraints are becoming more apparent.
But demand has trumped economic pressures.
So for buyers, there's simply not a lot of stock to choose from. That in itself creates some urgency. Buyers can't really negotiate all that much. Homes are selling quite quickly.
That's driven up home values, not just across the state, but across the country.
Regional Queensland housing values were up nearly 9% over the 2023 calendar year. At face value, such a high rate of growth is really surprising.
Experts have also been surprised by the rise in house prices.
We've seen regional property prices up about 8.5% over the past 12 months. The average buyer can borrow about 30% less. So the fact that prices are still rising is actually quite astonishing.
But that's predicted to fall as the delayed impact of high interest rates plays catch up.
2024 is probably going to be a little bit softer than what we saw in 2023.
Hataya Grupski, 7 News.
The acting Premier is calling for South East Queenslanders to stay indoors and off the road as rain continues to bucket down over the region. The persistent deluge means flash flooding in unexpected areas is a possible threat to locals.
It's been another night of torrential rain in South East Queensland, and unfortunately it seems like the rain will continue through the rest of today.
Disaster assistance funds have been made available to small businesses. Mr Dick is calling on residents in the rain zone to minimise road use to maximise everyone's safety.
Researchers are closing in on a breakthrough cure for type 1 diabetes. In a life-changing discovery, they've identified drugs to potentially eliminate the need for round-the-clock insulin injections.
Eliminating reliance on insulin injections or pumps is a dream for many living with type 1 diabetes. That's now a step closer to reality.
We are repairing the damaged pancreas of individuals that are living with diabetes.
It's really hard to convey how exhausting it is managing being an organ all the time, and the prospect of being able to be my full me is really exciting.
Researchers at the Baker Heart and Diabetes Institute have discovered a way to regenerate insulin production in those living with the disease.
We've harnessed stem cells that naturally are present in the damaged pancreas and stimulated them and instructed them to make insulin again.
We found 2 drugs that influence the pancreatic stem cells to behave like insulin-producing beta cells.
The 2 drugs identified by the researchers are already approved to treat rare cancers in America. Now the research is published. Preclinical testing will begin this year.
The therapeutic pipeline now is to test this in animals.
Researchers hopeful the breakthrough treatment could be available within a decade.
The idea now is to invest with industry and commercial partners to fund the gap in research funding.
There's the possibility that for all of us, we might be able to say at least goodbye to some of this 24/7 job.
It could also be life-changing for up to 30% of people living with type 2 diabetes who also require insulin. Sarah Jane Bell, 7 News.
A women's health clinic will be travelling across the region in the new year with free confidential services. Darling Downs Health will be offering cervical, breast and sexual health screenings, as well as advice on menopause, family planning and contraception. The clinic will visit areas including Mergen, Tara, Gundawindi, Chinchilla, Warwick and Dalby from January 15 until 31.
Punters hit the track in style yesterday for the first race meeting of the year. There was plenty of colour, with an added bonus when the thriller from Chinchilla, Rothfire, held on to win the prestigious King of the Mountain.
It's a sound that horse racing fans are familiar with, and it welcomes spectators and the new year to Clifford Park. The King of the Mountain is one of regional Queensland's premier racing events with a $750,000 prize pool. Class was a factor both on and off the track. On a cloudy day, colour was key and the fashions were bright and festive among the 800-strong crowd as racegoers vied to be named best on field. Although it was a white ensemble worn by Kylie Jackson which impressed the judges most.
There's some great outfits, isn't there?
They're lovely, yes.
More chance to soak up the spotlight.
The main event didn't disappoint either, as Chinchilla-bred favourite Rothfire held off determined competition to be crowned king.
The day's been fantastic. The crowd's been really good. We've been blessed with the weather. It's been a little bit overcast, but we haven't had any rain. The track has been absolutely magnificent for us.
Mac Prentice, 7 News.
And ahead tonight in 7 News, a stolen car found burnt out in Whitcott.
And Penny's tree this week is full of the scent of summer, beautiful Aussie colours. Welcome back to 7 News. A car has been found burnt out in Withcott hours after it was stolen. The silver sedan was taken from a home on Wellcamp, Westbrook Road early Saturday morning. The owner posted to social media asking people to keep an eye out, but the burnt out wreckage was discovered in the middle of Gittins Road. The matter has been reported to police.
The John Darien Woolshed welcomed the new year in true country style with a bush dance. It was the first major party the venue has hosted since the pandemic, and hundreds of locals were eager to celebrate.
The John Darien Woolshed was thrumming with life on New Year's Eve as more than 300 people danced their way into 2024. It was the first bush dance at the venue since 2019 due to COVID restrictions.
I only put this together towards the end of November, and we're just absolutely stoked with the support.
One of the region's best bush bands played classics like the Hokey Pokey, Waltzing Matilda and the Heel and Toe Polka.
The Ridgy Didge bush band have been coming here, they tell me, 27 years. They've only missed one event.
It's been great, and it's good to see the smiles on people's faces, and you see they're enjoying themselves.
And partygoers of all ages couldn't help but tap their feet.
Well, the good thing about bush dancing is a family dance. You know, there's all ages here, and what we try to do with our dances, we mix it up.
Matt Prentice, 7 News.
And in our gardening segment tonight, Penny McKinlay introduces us to a tree with show-stopping flowers that can withstand the summer heat.
This is the smell of a lovely Cassia fistula, and I find these one of the magnificent joys of summer. They won't take frosts, but they do take vicious heat, and they don't need a lot of water. They're a tree with yellow cascading flowers, and they're lovely. Now, there aren't many of them around Pittsworth. There may be in Toowoomba because they do not like cold, but they have stood the summer heat magnificently. Now, they're a medium-sized growing tree. They're lovely. The yellow is something that is just absolutely beautiful, and they do have that lovely pollen smell and honey smell of summer. If you've got a protected spot, try a Cassia fistula. They are not a native of this area. They are a native of the Brisbane area and further north. But if you've got a protected spot, look at that. Isn't it magnificent? And it's something that gives you wonderful summer colour, even though it can get to 40-degree heat. This is Penny McKinlay in 2024 for Channel 7.
How great is that, hey? Beautiful colours, the green and gold. Magnificent.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. In 2024, here we are.
Yeah.
All right, time now to have a look at sport with Luke. And there's 9 nominees for this year's Sports Darling Down Coach of the Year.
Yeah, there absolutely is, Joe. And the list includes national championship winning trainers with a winner to be named next month. We'll have more on that next. As Mitchell G enters the new year in style at Toowoomba Speedway, taking out the Ian Botcher Classic.
Stream 7 News anywhere, anytime, live and on demand on 7plus. And with 7news.com.au, you'll know the news now.
And welcome back to 7 News. Well, as we saw earlier, Rothfire proved why he was the clear king of the mountain favourite yesterday after taking out the 2nd annual championship at Clifford Park. The result means the gelding has also qualified for one of the richest events in the country, the Magic Millions, in just under 3 weeks.
With $750,000 on the line, a strong field came to Toowoomba to chase the rich provincial racing purse. And the $1.91 favourite, Rothfire, was destined to run out in a blaze of glory.
When you've got a dual Group 1 winning horse that's been all around Australia, raced against the best, and we get him to grace the park here, our own turf at Clifford Park.
He drew a horrible barrier 16, but overcame the tricky position to lead the field in the final straight. Fellow Darling Downs horse Steady Ready made the favourite fight for it, but in the end, the Thriller from Chinchilla crossed to take the crown.
Yeah,
outstanding. I mean, he hasn't won by a lot, but he's won. I'll take that.
The victory means winning jockey Ben Thompson defends his King of the Mountain title after also claiming last year's inaugural championship with Yellow Brick.
Hey, how good was that?
Yeah, that was brilliant. Brilliant. He's a star. Yeah, it helps, Paul, when you're on extremely good horses like I've been, Yellow Brick and Rothfire. It makes the job a lot easier. He's just a superstar.
The Heathcote stable has now earned a spot in the $1 million Magic Millions in just under 3 weeks.
I was very confident today. It's as good as we can have him. He's only having it's 2 runs now. He'll go to the Magic Millions, so very, very happy.
Fraser Ramsden, 7 News.
An emotional Mitchell G broke down in front of a near-packed crowd at Toowoomba Speedway after winning the cherished Ian Botcher's Super Sedan Classic. The Sunny Coast racer led from start to finish to take out the title and, of course, the $10,000 prize.
Fireworks fittingly opened the special New Year's race as the country's best battled it out in the Classic. Bob McCoster's night came to an end with 13 laps to go after his car rolled and came to a stop upside down.
Holy smokes. What a ride.
I guess that's my first big trip like that, and that just seemed to be like forever upside down there.
Mitchell G was in front for the entire race, but he was nearly overtaken several times. In the end, though, the Sunshine Coast product held on to take the checkered flag.
But Mitchell G will lead green to checker and win the Ian Botcher Classic.
Huge thanks to Ian Botcher and the whole Botcher family for putting this on, and they're the reason I got started in Supers.
Well, Brisbane's JJ Hamilton and Rockhampton's Matt Williams crossed second and third respectively.
At the end of the day, he had the best car, and we pretty proud of what we've done. It finished 36 laps and didn't break down, so yeah, pretty happy.
In the modified sedans, Victorian Kai Walters claimed his maiden T-Bar Nationals title.
He's a former national champion. He's now a T-Bar Nationals champion. Make some noise for Kai Walters!
Lots of words and stoked, and we've been trying for this one for a long time. You know, we've run nearly every other big race there is, and it's been on the bucket list.
Fellow interstate drivers Brad Witts and Brodie Christie also made it onto the podium, while Gympie's Brett Batster and Toomba's Shane McDonald claimed 4th and 5th respectively. Fraser Ramsden, 7 News.
Jackie Gallagher has been nominated Sports Darling Downs Coach of the Year after a huge 12 months where she was appointed to the coaching staff of an international Olympic program. Gallagher travelled to the UK in August to collaborate with trainers from around the world as part of the Olympic Sport High Performance Pathway. The Toowoomba Grammar Athletics coach also has trained some of the most promising talents in the region, including international sprinter Jai Gordon and para-athlete Belinda Slater. 8 other nominees have been named for the awards, which will be announced on February 10. Plenty happening, but that is the night in sport.
Yeah, the New Year's off and racing.
It is.
Isn't it? All right, thanks for that, Luke.
Hey, stay with us because after the break, Rosanna has all of today's weather details.
Hello, Rosanna Natoli with tonight's weather. We are expecting showers to be rolling in and out over the next few days. The heat wave that we've experienced is starting to ease right across the state this week. But spare a thought for our neighbours in the southeast facing the brunt of Australia's unpredictable wet weather systems. Checking our temperatures today across the Darling Downs, a range of 17 to 23 degrees in Toowoomba, 28 in Dalby, Kingaroy 34, 27 in Warwick. To the satellite loop and a trough off the coast of Queensland with a shallow low just east of McGarry. Right in here is what's generating the thick cloud extending onto the southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales coasts. Areas of cloud and a few thunderstorms are present up near the Gulf country as well. On today's chart, that coastal trough remains slow moving near the southern Queensland coast, and it's enhanced the rainfall all around through that vicinity. Onshore moisture is moving south into New South Wales. On tomorrow's chart, the trough sitting out east of the southeast coast will start to make its way down into the Tasman Sea and towards New Zealand. A high also remains in the Tasman, pushing up cool southerly winds. Now to the latest from the Bureau. The Darling Downs and Granite Belt forecast, the chance of a thunderstorm in the east for the afternoon and evening. Dalby 16 to 32 degrees, Chinchilla 33, Toowoomba 16 to 28, top of 33 for Miles. For the southeast coastal district, a moderate flood warning has been issued. A medium chance of showers, most likely about the coastal fringe, and the chance of a thunderstorm as well. Ipswich 19 to 31 degrees, Brisbane heading for 30 degrees. Looking ahead for Toowoomba, temperatures are staying in the low 20s, partly cloudy days ahead for the most part. For Warwick, temperatures are jumping up here, more around the 30-degree mark for the centre of the working week and dropping back down later. And for Dalby, a bit warmer here as the temperatures reach those mid-30s towards Thursday and then in the low 30s after that. Now to our favourite photos section, and this simply stunning sunset comes to us with thanks to Mark from Hervey Bay. He snapped this shot from McGarry. Do keep your pics coming. I love to see them. Bye for now.
Lovely. Thanks for that, Rosanna. And that's all from us for this Tuesday, the 2nd of January. Thanks for your company.
A reminder that you can watch a replay of 7 News on 7plus and catch up on our page on 7news.com.au. Good night.
Good night.